Okay, thank you. It's great to be here. AI can do many things, but I'm going to tell you what AI did to me, how it changed my life, and why, and for what. I'm a professor of environmental design here in Tongji, and environmental design for me is like an operating system for humans. So that prevents us to do certain things, that enables us to do certain things. But before AI, we need to simulate that things. We need to assume that you are in some category. I do drawings, I think about human-environment relationship. How to think about that's a very qualitative thing. That's about our feelings, that's about how our personalities. How do we perceive issues? So my questions usually are what are we doing, why, and how? And they're non-participant observations. So I just observe. What do you do on your gestures and things? And I do drawings. These are my hand drawings. I do drawings to observe that. And everything in this drawing matters to me. Why people are in Saturday kind of evening in the supermarket acting like that. It's because of their goals, but also because of the space, because of the environment, the operating system they're working with. And how can we develop these systems? How can we develop these operating systems? So these are the questions that are in my head when I think about environmental design. Environment as an interface for a human being. And as you know, I draw thousands of these as observations without AI. So what is my problem? I'm a middleman. I'm in between you and actually your perception, your real life. These are the things I've been doing here in Tongji, next to Seaford Road. I work with local people, with kids, younger people. I invite them to share their dreams, their ideas, what they want to do. There's 120 poles, for example, the Seaford Road. I work with people to actually engage them with their environment. These are just the people I invite, okay, come to draw with me. Draw whatever you think is kind of relevant for you. And I draw in different scales. In big scale, in small scale, just to observe how people behave. And during these observations, I have to find some limitations. I don't know the real goals, the real meaning of these people. And even if I interview them, they don't tell that to me. Of course, I can get deeper. I can understand them based on their hobbies, based on what they do, based on their kind of expressions, how they want to be perceived. And I try to copy that. But for me, what is the revelation, how AI changed me, is that it can act as a middleman instead of me. It can translate directly these other ideas of each of you without me taking care of, without me being in between, to actually create the soul or the identity or the whatever you call it, the feeling of this room, for example. And I want to emphasize it's working with. If I'm working only by myself, it's working for. So I start to do these drawings about personal placemaking, asking questions about people, doing interviews, giving them some tasks to do, and can draw what they are doing. And each of these stories I create with AI. They put all the material in, and AI creates me summary from their experience, life experience. What is the value? And they show me things that, okay, this was my grandparents' gift, or my father did this or that. And through that, I get more kind of a deeper meaning of what people are doing. And I had over 150 of these stories. Again, my kind of mental capacity was not able to handle all 150 stories. But AI don't care. So then I think, okay, I can move forward. I can actually ask AI to do the drawings as well for me. And we train AI in certain ways to actually imitate my style. So people can put their prompts immediately into it and have their story and the visual kind of memory of their life in some way there. And that leads me to another project, which actually is what I've learned. So maybe you saw this drawing outside. I did it for the one conference 1 year ago. It was a community. I knew many of these people. There are many labs, like 5, 7, 6 labs of Tongji. I know what was happening there, so I had that advantage. But even I didn't know too deep enough what is actually happening there. So we start to actually play with the robot and AI to collect the stories and feed them into the robot. So the robot will imitate with AI my language, and actually support me to, in this case, draw flowers, but can draw whatever part of the image we can think about. And that leads to further experiments. We train this KUKA with the AI to actually work together. I think it's quite interesting combination of human, machine, AI, community, whatever interaction that we come up with at the end of this process. And here is what I'm going to do in September. Next week I'm going to one school here in Shanghai to do drawing with 10 students. But here is one bigger project in MIT in Boston. And it means that we invite the community there, and I draw together with the community the feeling that they have about some values, some memorable event in their life, whatever they think is valuable. And in some way we cut the middleman. We cut somebody like me who has my own culture, my own perception, my own bias. Of course AI has all these more kind of slightly defined biases, but nevertheless I can finally work directly with the community. And I don't see any other way how can I make that possible, but without actually involving my friend AI as a team member, work with that step by step to understand how to actually create this. Eventually this can be called community art. But for me it's much more, because it's not anymore some artist perception. How well we can train AI, it's a question then to be asked. And that leads me to this, actually the idea of this AI as a team member. So instead of using AI as a slave or tool, I needed to work with that in many different stages. And I cover all these things. I was the project manager of myself, creative director, designer, I'm a writer. I do all these different tasks together. Then, okay, how can I improve this? I create the AI bot, chatbot for each of these roles, training them with my material, training them what I have done already. To think about that, how can I feed my experiences, my perception to AI and learn together? One challenge of creative work is that AI is mainly learning about others' conclusions. So it looks artworks that has been already done, but artist looks the experience in life. So that's a little bit different thing. Nevertheless, I did this. I create the team, the bot I call Team Synergy, and I put all these different roles inside that. And actually, I feed a couple of questions or a couple of things throughout the creative process, all the way. And there was this nasty team manager who say, okay, you don't have time for that. There was this kind of other people who say, we don't have money for that. Then the one role was saying, okay, well, you can push it further, Jarmo. And that is actually my point here. That when we're working with AI, we really think about as a team member. We can think about, instead of thinking of the end of the process, we got so many different details during the way that actually can be very helpful for us. Open new opportunities, closing up some ideas, maybe creating or making us more focused, do the right things, and then eventually open up, okay, now I know what to do. How can I do that? How can I do that in best possible way? What are the questions I need to ask? What are the things I need to know in order to do that? And eventually I can deliver the final conclusion. And during my kind of process of developing this drawing, I realized that with AI I can go much deeper. I can actually touch the community and invite the community to be with me. And again, coming back to my kind of real profession as a professor here, I think AI and using this qualitative method of art or emotions, engage people with their emotions without me being filtered, actually teach me a lot. And I mean, very simple conclusions. Again, I emphasize the idea of collaborative partner. It's not just some random guy who asks from outside, okay, give me a design of this. I work with that. We learn from each other. And I train that, and the AI trained me. I think that is maybe my main message here. Okay, thank you.